Baron and Jenna Deronay, you're renowned throughout the windsurfing world for your exploits, such as crossing the Bering Straits. How long have you been windsurfing and attempting such tasks?
Well, since 1979, and since going until probably the end of next year, which is going to be, crossing and do some new historical crossing between countries and the Great Strait of the World.
You're going around all the straits of the world?
Yes. So this is on the line, and the idea behind it is to show that the board sailing and this instrument is an incredible vehicle, which is a great peaceful vehicle, which has a great meaning, because sometimes one enter illegally some countries, and never did I was penalized because of the quality or the act of doing it onto that particular machine, where, for example, with a boat it would have been probably penalized.
So you've actually stopped that series at the moment to actually take part in the Weymouth Speed Trials?
Right, I just finished the last one, which was from Japan to USSR last month, and I'm crossing next month from Taiwan to Communist China.
What preparation do you actually make for one of these crossings?
Coming at the Weymouth Speed Trial is good, because you get your speed together, you see what's a new thing happening, and it's keep you training, and the greatest work is in the logistic of preparing all this and all the negotiation with governments and so forth, and this takes a lot of time, and study very thoroughly all the details, climatology, oceanography, and try to build up the adequate material and sails for such a crossing, because it varies all the time.
Jenna, you were the fastest lady the year before last. You've actually dropped out for a year because you had a child, is that true?
Yes.
Will you be sailing again?
Yeah, I'm going to be sailing this year. Hopefully I'll be able to take back my record, but there are a lot of really good girls here this year, so it's going to have to work for it.
So there's a lot of preparation for you going into this event?
Yeah. Well, basically I had my baby in the end of February 29th, and since then I've been really doing a lot of training, been doing a lot of competitions, and pretty much training non-stop.
No, she just won in Holland, in Scheveningen. She won the World Cup overall, and the slalom too. And
just being modest.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah. So you'll be sailing during the Weymouth Speed Week. Will you be using the wing sail?
Yeah, we'll both be using the wing, but we also have other sails in case, just to try everything, because you never know.
Where do you do most of your sailing now? What part of the world?
Well, up to now it's been Maui, Hawaii, pretty much
Hawaii.
4 months of the year.
Mustique, been Mauritius, has been France, has been a little bit everywhere.
Lately we've been doing a lot of sailing in Europe because all the competitions have been in Germany and Holland.
Do you rely a great deal on sponsors?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, we both have both a sailboard manufacturer sponsor and a sail sponsor and various other little sponsors.
But the sponsor, yes, they pay, but the sponsors...
They pay expenses.
Well, basically the sponsor we're working for, we are not only competitors. I mean, the range of activities is far beyond that. I mean, for example, I'm dropping the World Cup next year, and even my sponsor is increasing for next year because of the promotion of all the different program I'm working on, designing and Jenna doing pictures and things. So it is not a typical agreement like you would see with other sailors.
Because do you think to a certain extent a majority of the sailors can't take part in such an event because they haven't got sponsors? They won't be able to get to the standard to actually take part in an event like this?
No, I think everybody can take part in it. This is why it's extraordinary. It's a speed week, everybody can come in. If it's proven before to be good technically or to be good physically. And that doesn't mean a big sponsor, because a fully equipped board for such an event is probably about £500.
What attracts you to Weymouth? Do you think it's an exceptional venue for a speed event?
Well, definitely not the food, definitely not the place here. I love the side, the British country right about 10 miles from here. I think the water here, it's probably the best, really, probably the best place to break a record. And it's pretty well organized, and people are kind, and we've been there several years, and we've made quite a lot of friends here. And it's good. It's a good place. You can walk most of the time on the course, so it's
shallow.
easier. It's good too for the camera crew like you and like other people and the journalists, because they can have good pictures and can really follow up the action. It is a shame that they didn't push a little bit more the public and try to interest a little bit more the public in England, which stay really apart, like they did in Holland, where there was 50,000 people. And I think this kind of place is very is ready for it. If they do the proper publicity.
Do you think you stand a chance of getting near the 30 knots required this year?
Well,
Yeah.
you never know. You never know. It's just a question of good
We
timing.
didn't think so. We wouldn't be here.
I just been in Brest, where we had the Speed Week. We unfortunately didn't have very much wind, and I got the second place there by having with 18 knots, 22.7, which is it's about 4.5 knots faster than the wind. I hope we got around 30 knots of wind, so maybe we can get a bit higher and maybe beat Crossbow.
Well, Baron, Jenna, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.